This time on Roadkill Garage, we've got the crop duster. It's gonna shed 100 pounds, get a brand new look, and you will see it running 11s for the first time.
Center lines.
Krager's are still better.
I like those.
No.
Those?
Remember the Roadkill crop duster? It was first built in episode 40 of Roadkill when we took this clapped out old Plymouth, dragged it out of the backyard at Dulcich's farm, and installed the 440 big block that had been in the General Mayhem 68 Charger. And before that, it had been in a Class A motorhome. And with that clapped out engine, at the end of the episode, the Duster ran 12:39 in the quarter mile, which was pretty good. In episode 2 of Roadkill Garage, we took a 500 horsepower 383 big block built by Dulcich, slapped it in the car, and went and ran the thing. We were dying to get into the 11s, but we didn't, because we had a fuel delivery problem. But what you don't know is off camera we fixed that. This car has run 1178 out of 115, but that's not good enough. So in this episode of Roadkill Garage, we are gonna fix it up and attempt to run 1150 on motor. The first thing we're gonna do is weigh the car because a lot of our plans for this episode involve lightening it up.
Man, that's annoying.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. So what we're doing here is using a Circle Track type corner weight scale, and we slide these scales underneath the tires once he hops it up. Now, this is not the right way to actually do corner weights because you have to roll the car onto a scale in order to get the corner weights correct, because right now when we jack it up, the suspension's gonna settle, and when we put it back down, it won't be right, but it'll give us an accurate overall weight. The scales at Fontana told me 3380, remember?
Yeah.
I think that's what this is gonna say? Yeah.
I thought it was 3480.
It might have been 3480.
I thought it was way
too heavy. And this says
3195.
Where'd the extra 200 pounds go, Dolchek? I think neither one of them's right, but it's all how high is up. We'll still know what the difference is when we change the parts on it. But that means potentially, can we get this under 3,000 pounds?
How are we gonna ditch 200 more pounds?
I don't think it'll ditch 200 pounds. What?
Get another set of scales?
Probably. The first thing that we're gonna do is trade those heavy Kragers for some brand new centerline auto drags, which are a spun aluminum wheel, whereas those are a two-piece aluminum, cast aluminum and steel wheel. These, also retro, more 80s than 70s, but way lighter. This is the whole rear suspension that we took out of Steve's Orange Duster when we first built the crop duster. 8 3/4 rear end, some aftermarket disc brakes, and it's got a stock 340 car leaf spring and Caltrax bars, but watch how destroyed this leaf spring is. They should have an arc this way, but watch, it's gonna invert as he puts weight on it. Look at that.
Oh man.
It's destroyed.
What did you do to my springs?
I know. It's allowing the thing to just sag so far. It's messing up the U-joint angle. It's rubbing the tire right here. It's just all kinds of bad. And so one of the first things we're gonna do is replace all this stuff and give Steve back his rusty garbage.
I get that all back.
Install all the shiny new stuff on my
So
car.
who wins here?
Well, that's always me. Here's the thing. As of right now, we have no parts. Nothing I ordered is coming in.
Do you remember when I sent you that message in all caps saying order parts?
Well, I did, but we have none of that. So I hope it gets here in time because I don't want to take this apart for no reason. The rear suspension has a legitimate problem with the leaf springs. The front end we're changing pretty much just because we can. Here's what we're gonna do. First, put on some Willwood brakes, which will do two things. One, they're much lighter than this, and we'll find out exactly how much. Second, they're gonna narrow up the front track width and put it back to the stock spec. To do that, we're gonna have to change the upper control arm because it's a different ball joint size than this spindle, and we're also gonna put on some QA1 shocks, which are drag shocks, so that we can free up the front end for more weight transfer. And then we're also gonna take out these big torsion bars that I've got in the car and put in some 6-cylinder torsion bars also to improve weight transfer. All right, I'm set now. Except for this is as dirty as the floor.
No,
oh, wait.
The one side's clean. See?
Yeah. Oh, this is upscale. Last time we had the space blanket. This time, the shedding foam that's gonna have this absolutely everywhere in no time.
Hey, Freiburger, look, I'll give you one, and I'll take one from my side.
Pillow?
No!
What?
So put all the parts in so we don't lose them like always. The delicate tissue of my kneecap is the only thing holding this suspension in place. Should all pretty much drop out. Ow. And then...
What took you so long?
What do you mean?
Mine's been apart for like 20 minutes.
Really?
I don't know what his problem is.
It's almost out. Ow. The whole thing should come right out in one piece.
So we got the whole front end blown apart, the rear end's ready to go, but we got roadkilled on the shipping, and all the stuff we need is at my house 2 hours away. So I'm gonna take off right now, drive all the way down there, sleep in my own bed, cannonball back here to like 8 o'clock in the morning, at which point you'll already have this apart, right?
I was thinking of having a beer, actually.
So anyway, that's it for the night. Nothing we can do. Tomorrow morning we'll be gutting the rear end out of this thing, and then hopefully all the parts come back from my house and get shipped here, and we can start banging it back together tomorrow before I have to leave the day after that for a big meeting.
I'll probably have that out before you get here tomorrow morning.
This is going like clockwork. So I make a 400-mile round trip to go get these things. I'm surprised he's even awake. Bet you he didn't work on it. Whoa!
Where have you been, man?
Wow, you actually took it apart.
Oh yeah, went like that.
I'm impressed you're even awake. What we're gonna install here is brand new Calvert leaf springs. These are a monoleaf. Actually, they're what's called a split monoleaf, because you can see that the front segment is a different piece than the rear segment. And then we're gonna run Caltrax bars, which were already on the car, but those belong to Steve. And so I got these ones new so that I get the shiny parts. These are so much lighter than the stock springs. It's nice. So the spring plate, which has a shock mount on it, and then this is the mount for the underbar that's going to connect up to the front pivot on the Caltrax. And it also serves to hold this whole shebang together. You ever use shebang?
Of course.
You do?
Yeah.
Why do you have all these gnats?
They're not mine.
So these old shocks are off-road shock. They're a Rancho RS9000 adjustable shock, but this one is wasted. This one is, what, 15 years old or more?
They were perfect when I loaned them to you. You totally wasted my shocks, man.
Next up, the glorious QA1 shock. They're double adjustable so that you can set your compression and rebound adjustment, which is important on the drag strip to control the amount of rise that you've got, because you want some rise, but you don't want it to top out, you don't want it to lift a tire. It's a bunch of adjustments that you just kind of have to do by trial and error, but I'm super happy to have these on the car. You know what happens next?
What?
I leave, because I have that all-day meeting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So you're gonna have to finish this.
Yeah, I've got this.
When I come back Thursday, I want this thing on the ground and ready for an alignment, if not already aligned.
Yeah, on the trailer and strapped down, ready for the drag strip.
Yeah. All right, Dolchek,
Yeah.
you're on your own.
Now, I've got this handled.
I'm taking your dog. Blackie, come here.
For real?
Nah, maybe I'm not.
I want you to take them. I've got too many dogs. Finally, Freiburger's out of my hair. This is my big break on screen. I mean, I've been trying to shake that guy for months and months. Now, it's just me and all this. Okay, so this rod is pretty much what makes the Caltrax system work. It links this pivoting bracket to the center of the spring perch here. That transfers the reaction of the rear end when you step on it and makes the spring rise or separate. planting the tires in the ground. You can see when you turn this, it moves the relationship between these parts, swings that bracket. So really, that's all there is to it. Back when we first built the car, we took all this junk off of it. These control arms, these drum brakes, the spindles, and even these 6-cylinder torsion bars. Now, we're putting it all back in. Man, these front end parts are just total garbage. They're dirty and rusty. Sandblasting's probably the quickest way to get it done. We're running out of time, so I'm just gonna blast it all and have it all ready to go, and then slap all this junk on in the morning. Well, that's pretty much how you do it. We've got to finish up these pieces and get the rest of them done, and then we're ready to go first thing in the morning. Front suspension will go together just like that. Man, Freiberger is not here today. He said he had a meeting. That gave me a chance to get everything all cleaned up here because, man, I just can't work like this when Freiberger's around. I don't know what it is. We're 100% done in the back. We've got new tires and wheels. Front suspension's next, brakes, and put this together. All right, now we assembled the brake rotor. On these, you've got a steel rotor. Then all the adapters and the hub are aluminum, so you end up with a really lightweight assembly. This is the Willwood hub right here. There's 2 bolt patterns. We're gonna go to the outside one here. You know, the thing about the Willwood brakes is they're a lot lighter than the stock ones that we had on here before. But even more importantly, they don't stick out as far. They're actually the same width as a drum brake setup, so that keeps the wheels in a little bit more for more tire clearance. You could use a torque wrench if you wanted to, but that's good enough for me. Actually, since it's Freiberger's car, I really don't care that much. Normally, you wouldn't use a 1/2-inch impact wrench, but don't look. Close your eyes. Yeah, don't tell Freiberger. He doesn't watch the show anyway, so I think I'm safe. All right, there you go. It's all put together, ready to go in. Man, I like this. But after I got this cleaned up so nice, I've just got to paint it because sandblasted metal or rust just about instantly. Remember, this stuff looked like it came out of the bottom of a coal mine when I picked it out of the backyard. Look at it now. Not quite resto quality, but pretty good race car quality. Hoo-ah! I think I've got everything ready to go. Torsion bar goes in first. I'll slide this through the cross member, stack the lower control arm and a little strut rod in, and spindle, A-arm, brakes, done. You gotta know there's a left and a right. They're marked left and right, but don't mix them up. Looks about right. Might need a couple of taps to seat all the way, but ooh, messy down there. And now's the big moment, the rotor. I hope it all fits. Well, okay, the suspension is pretty much all there. I've just got to mount the caliper. Looks like the first time we've ever used brake clean on actual brakes. There we go. All done. Except for the other side. Oh man, I am one dirty, sweaty mess. But almost every single part of the suspension here has been changed. Plus, we have really lightweight brakes. Got the whole thing done. I think it's time for a cold one. Come back tomorrow and align it. Good enough to get to the real alignment shop, and I'm out of here.
Control check.
You made it.
Did you fix it?
There's nothing left for you to do. Well,
Really?
shocks, alignment,
You
lead brakes, brake lines.
Wow, you worked hard yesterday.
But you wouldn't believe how much lighter that stuff is.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, the braking system that came off, man, it was so heavy.
Compared to the Willwood?
Yeah, it's gonna be like super great.
So we can leave now?
I didn't tighten all the bolts.
You didn't tighten all the bolts.
No, I got most of them on that side, but these I was just kind of trying to figure out how it all goes together.
There's no brake lines. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
shocks.
Yeah.
I thought I left you to handle this.
Well, I had to leave something for you to do.
We finally hit the moment of our new centerline auto drags. Love them or hate them, they're way lighter than the Kragers that were on here. And that was our goal.
To me, the auto drag just says I'm all business. I'm full race.
1986 style.
My development pretty much ceased after that point.
Right. Dulcich loves the auto drags. I'm still Krager. Somehow this looks like cheap 80s beater white trash street racer instead of like
That's a good look.
70s beater white trash street racer.
Yeah.
I want to see 3,000 even.
Oh no, it won't make it.
No,
It'll
not
be
quite.
3,075.
3,087.
Seven.
We dropped 108 pounds.
108?
That's an expensive 108 pounds.
Yeah.
Would have been so much cheaper to put on a fiberglass bumper. Well, it sits like a stink bug because I believe the drag strip scale that told me this thing was 3,400 pounds. And so I ordered the heavy duty springs.
It's only 3,100 pounds.
So
I think they'll sag.
I hope they'll sag. We're gonna go find out by thrashing on this thing.
I was fearful.
That's a lot of burnout.
I was kind of fearful. Those telephone poles had me scared.
I was owning it though.
I know. Nice driving.
All right, I'm free, drag strip bound.
Yeah.
We got transmission fluid pouring out of somewhere and pouring smoke out of the back of the car. This happened to me on the way to your place. I thought it was the tires rubbing, so I stopped and investigated everything with the tires, and then I took off and it didn't do it again.
Maybe it'll fix itself again.
That's my thought. Are you thinking let it cool down and keep going?
Yeah. Either that or we're going to take the transmission out on the side of I-5 with no tools and no jack.
We made it! Drove this garbage 200 miles last night, and now the brakes are fixed, transmission's not leaking, engine is sort of cooled down, and the sun's getting hotter and hotter, so we want to crank it out here as early in the morning as we can, get our first pass in the lowest ambient temperature as possible. But what I'm holding here is our best pass ever in the crop duster that was never seen on video. April 8th, 2016, it ran an 1178 at 115 miles an hour. We're hoping to beat that right now. That wasn't that good.
1219. Oh.
It just blazed the tires off the line. Not enough stickum. This is gonna be a battle today.
I thought we were just going to come off our road trip, come here and just lay down the number, but man, we're not even close. So we're looking at troubleshooting, wrenching, tuning, I don't know what.
Sound like a typical racer to say this, but it's track prep.
You know what's really weird? Everything on that car was absolute junk, garbage, maybe even trash, and it actually worked pretty good. Now that we've got the new setup, there's a whole bunch of dialing it in to try to get it to work as good as the old garbage, so seems counterproductive. but that's racing sometimes. I wanted to pull out the wrenches and do some more radical changes, but Freiberger wanted to just do a shock setting change. What we're going to do is make the shock freer on extension, so hopefully it'll loosen up the rear suspension. Plus all I have to do is click this little knob, so I'm happy about that.
Was better, right?
You want that in Mississippi's?
Why?
Because they screwed up on the timing thing and we got no time slip.
Oh, you're kidding me. Because that felt a lot better.
It was.
We've just been out there doing launch after launch, making minute changes in between each one, and we're all going the right direction. I still remain pessimistic about getting where we need to be.
What we noticed last time was the tires left a perfect imprint of the thread in the rosin that's like gluing the track.
Which means they're not spinning, because if you can see the tread mark, then it's hooked.
Yeah, and so that means you had a dead hook. You could probably launch harder. You've been kind of driving it off.
Yeah, just make it happen, Dulcich. I'm still kind of depressed.
I know. That's good burnout. Man. I think we're about to turn a corner here. Yeah! 1:6:40. I think that's our best 60-foot time ever.
The best 60 ever is a 1.643, and we just ran 1.648.
1:6:40.
No, it's 1.648.
Right now?
Give me the slip. Your eyeball's wrong.
It's a 0.
Oh, you're right, 1.640. Okay, so we did the best 60 foot ever.
Gosh, I had to fight you the whole way before you would admit it. You're just in a funk today.
Okay, we're not good, but we can see good from here. We just need to richen the thing up. It's going through the lights at a 13:1 air-fuel ratio, and this engine's gonna like 12.5 to 12.8. So what we're about to do is restrict these secondary air bleeds, which let more air into the fuel mixture. And by making this hole smaller and letting less air in, it therefore makes the mixture richer. So this is like 22 or 24 gauge electrical wire, and I am tightening the strands together as much as I can to make a really, really thin wire, which I'm then going to use to plug this air bleed, because we don't have any removable jets with us for this. This car is taking a beating, I'll tell you that, and it likes it. $11.69 at 115.
1160s, baby. I'll take that.
And we still didn't match our best 60 foot of all time by 0.002 of a second.
Yeah, I know, but it was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That was a nice launch.
Oh man, we're finally good.
1160s is really 11s.
It's barely 1160.
Hey!
1169, but it's 1160.
Don't take my 1160 away.
I'm not.
Oh.
How come you're so happy and I'm so annoyed?
I don't know. Explain it to me.
Well, I wanted it to be faster after all of that work. It seems like all we did is go, what, like a tenth quicker than it ever has been? That's not enough.
I know, but we knocked 7/10 off of it today.
There was some pretty masterful, crafty tuning going on.
Oh man, we whittled it down to the bone.
Once I sort of got a grip on what was happening with the suspension, because that was a big hurdle for me, I was like, oh, how did I slow this thing down? But we just had to like essentially get it back to where it was before and where Calvert Racing told us to be.
Yeah, plus the track was ice.
Oh, it was a skating rink, but yeah, so I was pretty proud of all of that, but I don't know, needs to be quicker.
You don't like the crop duster?
Want it back?
Really?
Well, not really.
I'll see you later then.
No, I like my crop duster, I just want it to be faster, get out.
Rochambeau for it?
Wait a minute, I usually win Rochambeau.